Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. This is That's Random Podcast. I am your host, that guy, the one and only Nerdy G. If this is your first time here, welcome. This is the podcast where we take a little time to explore the extraordinary and ordinary. If you're coming back, hey, glad to see you. Drop a comment down below if you're watching on YouTube. Let me know you've been here before, man. Act like this is not your first time, all right? Listen, best way to support this channel, like, subscribe, share, do all of those good things and more. Much more. But what would this be without selling a little nerdy merch? You understand what I'm saying? I'm walking a little something, but I got something on the screen for you. There's something for everybody. Links and descriptions, all that down in the descriptions, okay? So check those out and support the boy, and we're going to continue to bring you more and more content. That I promise you. Listen, today's no different from any other day. I'm going to explore the extraordinary and ordinary. One of the things that's been wrecking my brain, not even so much as wrecking my brain, but it's kind of been working my last nerve. My nerves. Don't like when my nerves get bad. Nerdy likes to keep things simple, copacetic. But I have so many issues with everyone, or a lot. I'm not going to say everyone, but there's a lot of people using today's mentality on yesteryear shit. I know. I said it early. I can't help it. I can't see. Today is today. And yesterday, was yesterday. They tell us there's no time like the present. So here's a present. This is the present that I'm giving to you. This will be valuable tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, and so forth and so forth. You can't take today's mentality and go and judge yesteryear. Can't go judge yesteryear. Stop judging it. Don't do it. You're making yourself look bad. You're making yourself look like you're above. You're making it seem like you're perfect. You're making it seem like I went to Oxford or some shit like that. What does that mean? I don't know. I don't care that you went to Oxford. All right. What has Oxford done for me? See, we love people in general. We love having something to say. We love putting out a hot topic. We love condemning somebody for something that they did. I cannot sit here and be okay with judging something with my 2025 mind on something that happened in 1995, 2005, 2015, 1985, 1975. I can't use today's mentality to judge somebody for what they did when it was a different period of time. Because if that's the case, then why do we have decades and years, and why do we keep track of it if we just go, you know what I'm saying? I'm just asking. I'm asking. Why keep track of the decades if they're separated by eras, but we don't really care about that, and we're just going to judge everybody? Oh, the 70s was just, they were stoners, and everybody was fornicating with everybody, and they was love childs, and they were taking all kinds of crap and laying on the lawns and fighting for the right and smoking pot. The 80s, they were all big hair, and they just wanted to party and have fun, and everybody was out there doing quaaludes, and it was getting over on people, and the pop culture scene was beginning bigger and bigger, and the 90s was all about drugs and people getting, David Koresh and all of them. Different time, different eras. They're not in 2025. We have progressed. We know where we came from. Not saying that those people who made those decisions in those times, in those eras. Not saying that those people, I mean, they may have changed their lives around. And if they have changed their lives around, fine, good to them. If they're not doing the same thing today, we leave them alone. We leave them alone. If you didn't get them in that era, don't try to get them in today's era. Doesn't make sense. Not saying that it's right, but when you sit here and you try to judge somebody with your 2025 mind for things that they did in 1996, they didn't have the information that you have today in 1996. The information that's available to you in 2025 was not available in 1996. The internet was just starting. Okay? And when the internet started, we had to shake some shit out, okay? It was a nice little lunch. But did we find out real quickly. Those who were able to get on the internet and those who were able to move about freely, we found out real quick, we need to make some changes. We need to adapt. We need to protect people, children, old people, young people. We needed to protect people, and we made the adjustments. Okay. Say, you didn't foresee that? No. Some of you don't even know life without internet. Some of you don't even know life without Wi-Fi. Okay. There's a lot of y'all out there don't know life without Wi-Fi. So a lot of y'all don't know life without Google. You guys have way more information than the folks in the 2010s, the aughts, the 90s, the 80s, the 70s, the 60s. The choices that they made them. I can't sit up here and I can't condemn every white person for slavery. I can't call every white person racist. I can't call every Indian person a scammer, or anybody with a thick ass accent. I can't call them a scammer. Using today's thought process and with all the information available, I think too much information can make you racist by just knowing certain things, because when you reinforce stereotypes, or when you look and you see and you stereotype a person, kind of reinforcement. It's kind of reinforcement of racism. Just think about it. Reinforcing stereotypes is racist. Because everybody's not the same. If you're giving me stereotypes from the 80s, the 90s, we have grown past that. We have new information. People aren't doing the same things anymore. You get what I'm saying? You take a look, America's Got Talent. There's a ton of people on there, all kinds of different ethnic groups that are doing things that typically that ethnic group wouldn't approve of in the past. Okay. Aquafina, Asian. Asians aren't known to be funny. Dr. Ken, they're not known to be funny. Okay. My guy that's over there at Marvel that's killing it, and he did the little show with The Rock. I don't know his name, and I'm so sorry. But they're killing it. They're funny. Asian culture? No, you gotta be a doctor. Gotta be a doctor. Gotta go be a doctor. You know what I'm saying? If you're not a doctor, if you don't own your own business, that's the old thinking. And as we continue to grow as a world and as a people, those old stereotypes are going to go out the window. All right? BTS, if I'm not mistaken, that's a Korean band. And them boys was all over the world. Prior to this new world that we're living in, this era, I can't think of a Asian group in the aughts, the 90s, the 80s, the 70s, or the 60s. Can't think of an Asian group. BTS had these women, these young girls, falling out all over them. They were on Good Morning America. So did they stop being a boy band and all of them go be doctors? Singing doctors? Are they all singing doctors now? I don't think so. I don't know, but I don't think so. For me to say that comes off as racist because that's me using yesterday mindset, today's mindset for yesterday. No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. I get that there are some people in the past who have done horrible things. Horrible things. If this person is 76 years old and all of this stuff comes out, we want to put a 76-year-old person behind bars. I want you to sit there and I want you to think about that. You don't give two shits about how old a person is and what they done in the past, and we understand it is horrible. It is horrible. But a 76-year-old person, not placing no gender on it, but you want to put that person behind bars. I want you to think about that. So give a shit about that person's life. That person to give a care about all of these other people's life back in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, or whatever, the 90s, the early aughts. When you think about that, it shouldn't sit right with you. If you are okay with putting a 76-year-old person behind bars that has changed their life for the better, but you want to condemn them for some things that they did 20, 30 years ago, then come on, man. Come on now. What kind of society are we at that point? Because then we're taking today's mentality, and if we went and if the internet did what the internet really wanted to do, and if we wanted to really run it up, half the entertainers, half the senators, politicians would be out of a job. The normal average folk, if we could dig up things on them, we would counsel the entire world. How do we say nobody's perfect and then go on and point fingers at somebody else? If it's wrong, it's wrong. If you did it and we got you in that time, in that era, and if it was something that you were still actively doing and you haven't tried to change your life around, then, hey, you got to go. You got to go. And don't try to give us that, oh, I'm doing good, but you're still secretly doing the bad things. No, you got to go. You go to jail. Get out of here. Don't play fake. Because if you're doing some of these things that are crazy, we got to put you away if you continuously doing them. But everybody that's saying, oh, I got raped back in 1960 and he's still living today. It's 1960. Are we serious? Are we really? Listen, there was a time, and I just don't want, and I don't want to put this on just, sexual assault or anything like that. I want you to think about the way that our children are judging. The younger generation is judging the previous generations as if we had all of the information that they had today. We have some of the older generation who are judging, we're judging our peers about, hey, we always had this information. No, we didn't. When you know better, you do better. And it's safe to say that America had a whole lot of not knowing. Have they tried to make Have they made steps in the right direction to try to correct this? Yes. But on the flip side, are there things still in society that makes us double back and reinforce certain negative behaviors or certain negative thought patterns and thought processes? Yeah, it's all there. It is all there. Content creators, you do it as well. When you stereotype somebody and you put them in a certain role, you're doing it. Directors, when you have a vision in your head of this is how this type of person acts, and this is what I want, think about it. I'm not saying nothing that you don't know. I'm saying something that you probably realize, sweep that shit up under the rug and keep it pushing, because your comfort comes before everything else in this world, and you're going to do whatever it takes to protect your comfort, protect your investment, your financial. And when you go home at night, you can sleep on your 5,000 thread count sheet, whatever it is that you got, that you want, that you love. Yeah, comfortable bed and some head. Yes, going to do everything I can to protect that at all cost, even if it means putting some stereotypical person in there, kind of borderline racist, but society is going to reinforce those things. Just put it out there. They're going to put it out there. We're going to keep judging we're going to keep judging with today's mindset, and anything that comes up from anybody's past, we're going to counsel them because they should have known better. You should have known better, hands down, no matter what. I don't care what information you had or you didn't have. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense today. You know that whole saying, oh man, you just had to be there. Yeah, I believe that. You had to be there. There are some people who've told me about, stories about their time with Quaaludes. Okay. I don't do drugs. You can tell me about a Quaalude all day long and how much fun you had on a Quaalude. My face is going to look at you and say, oh, okay, cool. Oh, man, you just had to be there. Right. I don't understand that time period. But I can't judge you with today's mindset on what you guys did during that time period. Some of us, we go back and we look, hey, hip-hop community, y'all remember Tall Tees? Do y'all remember Tall Tees? Do y'all remember the baggy era? And how we all go back and we look and we go, yeah. We done. Yeah. Hey, it was a dark time. Yeah, you had to be there. Okay. All right. Country. Y'all ain't off the hook. Every era had something. When you go back and you look at it, you go like, yeah, that wasn't the greatest ideal. 90s, big hair, late 80s, early 90s, big hair, it was a thing. And every time y'all go back and y'all look at those pictures, the first thing that I see when those people look at those pictures, the first thing I see them do is start laughing like, oh my gosh. That's because they're thinking with today's brain and they're looking like, oh my gosh, why did I do this? Because it was the time. It was the period. It was the era. It's what you did. It's you monkey see, monkey freaking do. Flip-de-doo, whoop-de-doo, shooby-dooby-doo, Scooby-Doo, okay? That's what y'all did. Y'all had fun. Hey, one gold tooth. Who ain't got a picture with one gold tooth? With your picture, you sitting down in that chair, and then your face right there in the background, y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay? It's like this. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Every person in the 80s got those damn pictures. Everyone. But it's not, you can't judge the past with today's mindset. I don't know how many times I'm going to have to say it. As a society, as a people, we have to be better. We have to make sure that we don't do that. If people are still being creepy today and we catch them in today's era being creepy like that, then we got to do what we got to do. I'm sorry. But if a person did and made some mistakes in the past and they found a way to atone for their sins, the things that they did, and they're living a better life, they're giving back to their community, they're being a productive person in society, then we have to give them a chance and leave that in the past. Because if you can't, then tell me what's the point of sending a person to jail saying you committed this crime, go do your time, and then when you come out, we can give you a second chance. Then if we're going to still hold them to that mistake that they made or to, a bad decision that they made, if they continue to do those things once they get out, then yes, hold them to that. But if they come out, changed person, rehabilitated, and wanting to be that, then okay, I'm fine with it. But if not, then what the hell we need the jails for? What do we need the jails for if we're not going to be able to say you can make a mistake? It makes no sense that it can take a lifetime for you to build up your reputation and who you are as a person and then lose it in 2.3 seconds based off of what somebody said and how somebody feels with today's mindset in 2025. All I'm saying is that I want to go back to a time where everything was so sweet, like a cherry pie. I'm not going to be the dead horse. What I am going to do is I'm going to get into some music. YouTube, you're not getting this. But what I am going to do is do that, play that music, and then I'm going to come back for the closeout. Y'all already know how I like this. I'm hoping y'all liking everything here and what's going on at Nerdy's Umbrella. But this is That's Random, the podcast, and I'm coming right back with the music. Well, close out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. And this is the closeout. Listen, some of us like our cherry pie. Some of us want a sweet piece of the cherry pie. But we can't say things like that today. It's 2025. Why the hell would we do that? We can't say things like that. You'll end up for not even, what is it called? Sexual misconduct. Not even sexual harassment. It's a sexual misconduct. So you have to be careful with everything that you say. You have to be careful with the way that you walk, the way that you talk, the way that you move. The thing is saying what they say, man, you shouldn't be scared. If you're not doing anything, you shouldn't be scared to walk around and move around or whatever the case may be. Clear. It sounds real good that you say that, but let's be honest with you. Let me be honest with you. Yeah, nothing that you can do, nothing that you say. There are some people out there, some women out there who just don't, there are people in general. I'm not even just gonna put this on women. There are people out there who blow things out of proportion. And if you run across a person who blows things out of proportion, what can happen to you is your reputation, the things that you've built in your life can be gone in 2.2 seconds. Yesterday was yesterday. Today is today. Society has these little things that they put into our world. And some of these things make us the way that we are, whether you want to believe it or not. Your TV shows, your music, even the content creators, the things that come across your algorithms, the things to keep you distracted, the things to keep you thinking a certain way. It happens. It happens. If you notice, people who read books more than they are on their cell phones or watching television, the people who read books when you sit down and talk to them, their mindset is not that of an average person in 2025. Their own original ideas, their own thoughts that they have is totally different from a person who has been in their phone absorbing so much information and not even realizing that they are reinforcing things that keeps us separate as a whole conglomerate. Okay. We don't have to be separate, but yet it's being preached. People are people. Okay. We're so progressive here in 2025 that there are campaigns, there are people who are advocating to be separate ethnic groups. All the black people be with the black people, all the white people be with the white people, all the Mexicans be with the Mexicans, so forth and so forth. It's crazy. It's crazy because we are one people. But it's advocating. But we're going to judge and condemn everybody that has came before us. We're going to judge the aughts, the teens, the 90s, the 80s, the 70s, the 60s. And we're going to say that they were so much more horrible than what we are. And, I mean, if you've cut on the news, need I say more? Listen, just to close out, this has been That's Random, the podcast. I am your host, that guy, Nerdy G. Remember, we take a little time to explore the extraordinary and ordinary. Don't be surprised if you hear this topic come up again on the Red Cup edition. Don't be surprised. But at the same time, listen, take a little time, enjoy your day. I'm your host. I'm always going to be your host, your new favorite podcaster, host, that guy, Nerdy G. And until next time, I'm out.